All right, so next up we have Dan Harwood from Syngenta. So this is one of our industry partnerships. There's an interesting interplay between leveraging scientific investments in industry, that broader impact, that economic impact aspect, and this has been a really successful collaboration, I believe. Dan will talk a little bit more about it, and this is with regards to agriculture.
Is this my doohickey here?
I believe so.
All right. Hello. So I'm with Syngenta, and as Kenton mentioned, Syngenta has been partnered with NCSA as through their industry program for a number of years. Been using their help in some of the high throughput computing challenges we've had and whatnot. At Syngenta, I suppose I'm going to full screen mode.
Sorry about that, Dan.
That's right. Syngenta, we sell products, but obviously we have an R&D department too. So there's a lot of research going on in our company, and one of the things that we've been struggling with is we're generating a lot of image and video data through normal course of doing research and other production activities. And we have this tremendous wealth of data locked into these non-typical formats of data that we're not making very good use of. And we're really struggling to even manage them. Everybody's, I think everyone deals with this even in your personal life. You take a picture on vacation, it's on your phone. It's hard to share because it's on your phone, so how do you share it with anybody else? We all get better and better at it, but it's still a struggle. In Syngenta, we're always trying to innovate. We see that a lot of our opportunity for innovation, untapped innovation, is in the space of image data. And as I mentioned, the storage requirements, organization, analytics capabilities, all of these things are emerging technologies and not necessarily a thing that we all know how to do really well. We're all kind of exploring. The types of things we do with images that in research that are, I guess, after hearing everyone else talk, I think everyone recognizes pretty much all of these. Drone imagery and TerraRef is, very similar. Remote sensing type of an application for digital phenotyping, monitoring our crop health. Saw some lab camera setups, microscopes and whatnot. We have, you saw I think it was TerraRef as well, that had the plants moving through photo booths. We have not quite that sophisticated, but we have similar capabilities, generating these images, and really struggling to get workflows for storage and processing of them. And then we'll also just scan documents, toxicology results, extracting things from PDFs, what have you. All of these types of challenges we were faced with. And like I mentioned, everyone kind of had their own. All the departments, individual users had their own way of tackling these. Usually it meant some sort of, people would recognize the Windows desktop there with millions of files on there that you can't find anymore because that's where you stuck them. Very hard to share with other people there. SharePoint S3 buckets, people trying to share information that way, you can't find it again, you don't remember what it was called. People were using a non-approved solutions such as Dropbox and Flickr. We use some commercial products as well, such as Binder, which is a digital asset management. And it's not really for research or analytics, it's more for marketing and things like that. And another product called SaaSmom. None of those are really doing it for us. So we're faced with this challenge. We're partnered with NCSA through the industry program, and we're at a meeting to discuss how things are going and new opportunities. And I think it was Zhang and Luigi and came into the room, and we're talking about some other things that they do at NCSA. And they showed us Clowder. And and we weren't even really thinking that we were going to be getting an opportunity to solve this problem, but our ears perked up and we asked some questions, and we realized we had an opportunity to explore Clowder. So particularly one of the things that really interested us about Clowder was the extractor capability, because we have the challenge of analyzing this information that's locked in these images. And the extractor bus was kind of we had figured out ways we could do it on our own, but that kind of tied the management and the extraction as one solution, which we hadn't really considered before. So we're really interested in that. The other thing is we really wanted to, as I mentioned, we had a lot of different groups that were generating image data. Each group was trying to solve it on their own. So we were getting a lot of duplication of effort, a lot of people spinning up sometimes the same solution in 2 different departments, both learning from ground up new platforms, building their own sets of infrastructure that was duplicate. Not a very good way to spend our corporate dollars. So really coming up with a solution that would just allow us to standardize on a single platform was our goal. So with our partnership with NCSA, we decided to stand up an instance of Clowder. We ended up calling it SIMPL. SIMPL stands for Syngenta Image Management Platform. With the NCSA's infrastructure, we would have near unlimited storage and compute scale. We got a big group of scientists that just love playing with this stuff, and some real good developers that we can tap into for help. And just a lot of the things that it was already doing that they had already demonstrated to us right out of the box were things that we were very interested in. There was already a drone image stitching extractor that was available and working. Barcode reading, which is something that we do a lot of. Reading the barcodes that are embedded in images, that is. Metadata extraction, automatic metadata extraction. So taking the image right out of your EXIF database in your image. And then OCR. And they have some real good examples of how they had been using OCR text extraction in their extraction bus. So it was very nice. So for us, the advanced analytics in kind of the next generation thing was also very interesting. And there wasn't a lot of examples of this, but it's someplace we were going, and it was someplace that NCSA was also going around doing AI and deep learning, and we knew that we were wanting to start to build that capability. So again, Clowder really felt like a real good fit for helping us start to collate and curate, seeing those words a lot in everybody else's presentation, a lot of this data so that we can then build our training data sets and start to really leverage this stuff. We really like the flexible UI and you know, the spaces and data sets and collections were very kind of a natural way to organize the data, very easy for people to understand. We felt it was very developer friendly. The APIs, you know, there was a breadth of APIs available. Pretty much everything that you would have expected was there. You know, can't say enough about the extractors. Just gives you the ability, the ones that are already there, that have already been written that we could tap into, got us kind of a jump start. But the fact that we can write our own, that they're kind of constantly being developed by the community, was very attractive to us. Open source, free, that's always good. And again, the benefit from the collaboration in the community, which I've worked with David LeBauer a little bit, talking about opportunities through some of the stuff they're doing. And I mean, so that's a real thing. The community is happening. Hopefully this is kind of kicking it off into high gear. So that's we're looking forward to that. With that said, there are still some things we'd like to see. I didn't do 3, I only did 2. If I had done a third, I think workflow would have been it. Not necessarily Jupyter workbook, though we do some Jupyter, but just the ability for Clowder to facilitate steps and workflows and approvals and things like that is something that people have mentioned. But more, I think more importantly for us, it's been the extractors. And again, we do feel very strongly that it's a differentiating capability. We looked at a lot of, on one of my earlier slides, I mentioned that we had some other software in-house already that we use in other departments. We were also already looking at commercially available software and open source software, and nothing had anything like the extractors, and that was really kind of the thing that tipped the scale for us. With that said, I think it's got a lot of opportunity to go to the next level. I think with minimal investment and smart investment in enhancing that extractor framework, it just becomes kind of a leader in being able to help us manage our research data. And I probably should say, for Syngenta, our problem statement was image data. Clowder is not an image data platform. Image is just one type of data it manages. You all know that. We at Syngenta are starting to explore using it for more than just image data. However, image data was our huge pain point, so that's why we focused on that. The other thing, area for improvement that it kind of took me by surprise, because I actually really was happy with the Clowder UI when we first started using it. I liked how it was kind of a clean, predictable, things were where they should be and made sense. As we started to roll this out to our users, though, we got feedback that it was a little bit too, and use the term utilitarian, but it was a little bit too mundane, too basic. They were used to using a lot of these tools that had a lot of investment in UI UX development dollars, and they become very comfortable and kind of their expectations are maybe a little bit higher. So we get a lot of feedback that it's a little bit too basic. They're looking for features in the UI that aren't there, and then and maybe a little bit of the polish. Just everybody wants their apps to look sexy these days, and I'm hope I'm not going to make any enemies, but Clowder probably isn't very sexy if you look at it. So that's it. Just wanted to share what we're doing on the industry side. So thank you.